First thing we're going to talk about here is simple interest. And simple interest occurs on loans of a year or less. The interest paid is always a percentage of the original amount loaned. The amount borrowed is called the principal. The interest rate is given as a percent per year and is expressed as a decimal. The time the money is accruing interest is calculated in years. So simple interest is given by the formula I equals PRT, where I is the interest, P is the principal, R is the annual interest rate, written as a decimal, and T is the time in years. So using that formula, how much interest would be paid on a $5,000 loan earning 15% annual interest for 7 months? First thing we need to do is identify what parts of that formula that we have. So we know that P is equal to 5,000 because that's the original amount of the loan, the principal. R is equal to 0.15 because I've written the 15% as a decimal. And T is equal to 7/12. It was written here as 7 months, but remember we need to convert it to years. So in terms of years, 7 months is 7/12 of a year. So now let's go ahead and take those values and put it into our formula PRT. So we have 5,000 times 0.15 times 7/12. When I put that into my calculator, I get that the amount of interest is $437.50. The total amount that you would be repaying is $5,000, the original amount, plus that extra $437.50 in interest, or a grand total of $5,437.50. What this brings to mind is the idea of the future or maturity value A for simple interest. All this is the interest, which is P times RT, plus the principal, which is P times 1. When you write it out this way, it's in factored form, but it would be just as easily to write P plus PRT, where P is the principal again, R is the annual interest rate, and T is the time in years. Let's go ahead and see that in an example. So what is the future value of a loan of $2,000 at 7.5% annual interest for 60 days? So let's identify the pieces that we know. We know that P is equal to 2,000, that's the original amount. The interest rate is 0.075, that's 7.5%, written as a decimal. And 60 is 60/360ths of a year. So if I go ahead and put those values into my formula, A equals P times the quantity 1 plus RT, I get 2,000 times the quantity 1 plus 0.075 times 60/360ths. When I put that into my calculator, I get $2,025. So that's the total amount that would be paid back. That means 25 of it must have been the interest. Now you may have noticed that when I worked with this 60/360ths, I took 60 out of a year that had 360 days. If you find your interest using a 360-day year, that's called using ordinary interest. If your interest is found using a 365-day year, that's called exact interest, and that'll normally be specified for you in a problem.